Iran successfully tests new precision-guided long-range EMOD missile. Iran has successfully test-fired a new precision-guided long-range missile, state-run media reported on Sunday, October 11th, today's date. Obama has been leading the charge to give Iran the time and space necessary to finish building their nuclear weapon capacity. When it is complete, Iran will then attach nuclear warheads to their brand new EMOD precision-guided long-range missiles. They will first fire them at Israel, then at United States, as they have promised so many times. This is the new world order Obama is building. Think about it as you applaud and support Obama's demonic Iranian nuclear deal. The EMOD Pillar surface-to-surface missile, designed and built by Iranian experts, is the country's first long-range missile that can be precision-guided until it reaches its target, said Brigadier General Hossein Dequan, Iran's defense minister. To follow our defense programs, we don't ask permission from anyone, he said. According to state-run news agency IRNA, the new rocket is capable of scrutinizing the targets and destroying them completely. Well, you don't need to ask permission from Obama. He gave you a full green light on it, didn't he? First, Obama implemented the microchip implant to be implemented at the start of March 22nd, 2013, with no later than, I believe it's 2017. Which it says right here, the paragraph of H.R. 3200. And remember this, it says under Article G1, the Secretary shall establish a National Medical Device Registry, in this subsection referred to as the registry to facilitate analysis of post-market safety outcomes data on each device that A, is or has been used in or on a patient, and B, is a Class 3 device, or Class 2 device as implantable, life-supporting, or life-sustaining. So are we all to be given a biochip by the government? Let's start with some actual facts. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, as it was passed by both houses of Congress and signed into law, is numbered H.R. 3590, not H.R. 3200. 3200 was never passed into law. More about that below. You can read the final bill, H.R. 3590, here. The section about the National Medical Device Registry has been taken out in later bills. That is, it is not the law of the land, nor has it ever been, nor did they take out the paragraph because someone spilled the beans about the mark of the beast, because in fact the registry mentioned in the earlier version is clearly a data bank that collects information about medical devices already implanted in people, such as pacemakers. It says nothing about any kind of biochip or memory chip, nor in fact of any chip newly planted in the body to fulfill this law. The language of the bill is not at all vague, as some claim, not if read by a reasonably intelligent person in context. But tales of conspiracy abound. Here are some tactics used by conspiracy theorists throughout the ages, and they will show up in this case. So anyway, it looks like Mark of the Beast microchip is not in law, even though it's ready to go and be implanted. Let's move on with our story. The EMOD would be Tehran's first precision-guided missile with the range to reach its enemy, Israel. Israel is bitterly opposed to Iran's nuclear program, and observers have speculated that it could be prepared to launch preemptive strikes on Iranian nuclear sites in an effort to derail their progress. But then on the other hand, they got Russian President Putin, Vladimir Putin, on their side, and they also have China stepping in as well. Iran's missile program is being closely watched around the world, with Washington leading international efforts to stymie the growth of Tehran's arsenal. As we see Bible prophecy fulfilling, we see the whole world turning against Israel. Daquan said following the launch that EMOD would greatly increase Iran's strategic and deterrence capability, state media reported. Now, Obama and the U.S. supposedly is supporting Iran, but, well, they're not doing it outright, but they are doing it, right? At the same time, Iran wants to destroy America, calling them Big Satan, right? Kind of doesn't make sense. But here's the thing. Why are we really Big Satan? Is it because of Obama? Better think again. The reason why we're Big Satan is because we are Christians. Those Christians who are, there is more Christians in America than any other nation by percentage. Okay? Satan has, there's two targets he wants. Israel, the Jews, and Christians. So when you think about it, it makes perfect sense for the end times scenario. The religious war, Armageddon. Magog and Gog and Magog, and Psalms 83 war. It's all about that. Improved accuracy. Anthony Kordsman, a researcher of the Center for Strategic and International Studies, wrote in October last year that the EMOD was a variant of Iran's existing Shahab-3 long-range missile, but with maneuvering re-entry vehicle to improve system accuracy and complicate missile defense. The liquid-propelled rocket had a range of 1,700 kilometers or 1,000 miles, was accurate to within 500 meters of the target. That's not extremely accurate. The rocket could carry a 750 kilogram payload and was scheduled for deployment sometime after 2016, he wrote. The Shahab-3 is based on the Nodong, a North Korean missile, according to paperwork by Michael Elliman, a researcher at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, a UK-based think tank. Kordsman report said Tehran has been steadily developing its missile technology, focusing in particular on improvements to guidance systems. Its existing missile systems had poor accuracy and uncertain reliability, he wrote, giving them limited military effectiveness. The improving missile arsenal gave Tehran a longer range strike capability that its aging air force largely lacks, he wrote. Iran's air force, once the largest in the Gulf, degraded following the break with the West that occurred during the '79 revolution due to a lack of access to spare parts, maintenance, and pilot training, according to Elman. Since then, Tehran has focused on developing its missile capability and now boasts the largest and most diverse ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East, according to Elman. Israel's stockpile was more capable but smaller, he wrote. Dangerous threat. Iran's missile program is being closely watched around the world, with Washington leading international efforts to stymie the growth of Tehran's arsenal. At least that's what they want you to think. But here's what really is going to happen. If Iran ever tries to strike at the U.S., you would think it would be an easy stop by our anti-missile missiles that we have, air-to-air missile takeouts. I forgot the name of it. But you know what? You better think twice if you ever think Obama is going to give the green light to push a button to do that. It'll have to be an act of God. The people disobeying Obama to press an anti-aircraft missile that will shoot down one of those missiles, because Obama's never going to say yes. And I believe this has already happened as far as Obama trying to strike Russia on the border of Russia. They've said no even when they were told. But that's just hearsay. I heard about it in other videos. When Tehran announced in February last year that it had successfully test-fired a laser-guided surface-to-surface and air-to-surface missile and long-range ballistic missile capable of carrying multiple warheads, the Pentagon spokesman at the time, Admiral John Kirby, described the missile program as a dangerous threat to the region. So let's just let it go further, right? He noted that UN Security Council Resolution 1929 prohibits Iran from undertaking any activity related to ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons, including launches using ballistic missile technology. You know what I find really funny is the people that say Iran has never gone to war with anyone. So why is it everyone blames Iran for wanting to kill Israel and wanting to kill, bomb the U.S.? It cracks me up. The only reason why they haven't gone to war with anyone because of these sanctions to stop them. But now the sanctions have been lifted. Since 2003, concern over Iran's nuclear program has grown as Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency spar over Iran's growing capability. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khomeini has insisted Iran is not building a bomb and says weapons of mass destruction are forbidden under Islam. You mean it's the opposite way around? In July, I know, you don't bomb them, you just cut their heads off and their fingers and their arms and their legs, and you let them bleed out slowly, right? And rape them. In July, negotiators from Iran, the United States, China, Germany, France, Britain, and Russia reached a deal on Iran's nuclear program, agreeing to reduce the number of Iranian centrifuges by 2/3. The agreement bans enrichment at key facilities and limits uranium research and development to the Natanz facility. Well, there you go, folks. The possibility of World War III could be very soon now, thanks to Obama and the New World Order, and most of all, the false prophet, the Pope, who created Islam in the first place to continue to keep killing Christians. Because they couldn't stop the Christians. The more the Roman Catholic, more the Romans, not Roman Catholic, well, Roman Catholic later, but the more the Romans were killing Christians between the time of Jesus died and up to about 325 AD, the more Christianity spread. Yeah. See, God uses persecution to actually spread the gospel and for salvation. That's because he's a pure and loving God, and he knows what's right for everyone. But when the Roman Catholic Church decided to the Roman Empire decided to give up, they decided to go under the name of a Roman Catholic Church, turn themselves into a church, the Church of Thyatira in Revelation 2:20, and also the Mother Harlot of Revelation 17 and 18, which is tied all the way back to Babylon. And the leader of that is Satan himself. Throughout the whole Old Testament, in many different passages, including Isaiah. And about Obama, if you really think a man who has tried to take away your guns and supported bringing so many terrorists into this country, hundreds of thousands per year, reinforcing all sorts of government entities, including the EPA, with high-tech military weapons, and we haven't even touched the surface of many other things, killing us with chemtrails, with so many other kinds of poisons. The rights and freedoms of Americans today is almost out. Time is up. It's time to get right with Jesus, because you don't want to be here for the time of Jacob's trouble. It'll be like no other time before, as Jesus says in Matthew 24. You know, in Romans 1:16, Paul said, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek." But he said it again, and he said, "Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God." It's time to prove who you believe in and what you stand for. Hold fast to the traditions, to what you've been taught, to what the Bible says. God bless you, brothers and sisters.